Well, you are here. What's up? What's up? What's up? This is another pre-record from a bus. Oh, let me get my shirt up in there. Let me move my mic out the way. Oh, Bustlife, Mama's cookie. Yeah, man. Yeah, I like it. Shout out to you, Cash Rich. Cash Rich Imports. Yeah, this is a good quality shirt here. I'm gonna have to wash it and see. But yeah, man. So we are here to discuss the disrespect that I heard of Dwayne Wade. I think Charles Barkley, I went over this the other day. Charles Barkley said that LeBron James stacked teams, which he does. And we all know this. Now, at this particular stage in his career, I agree with it. If I'm 41, about to be 42, I want to play with the best players. I want to have an opportunity to win. So I have no problem with the Philly move. But I also have no problem with what Charles Barkley said. LeBron stacked teams. So Charles Barkley was talking from another athlete, another person that was in that upper echelon class. And LeBron is in the GOAT debate. So when you comparing him to the other GOATs, the other people that's in the GOAT debate, you got to compare their characteristics. And Kobe and MJ don't have those characteristics to want to be with all the greatest players. They want to beat all the greatest players. So I just don't understand what the hoopla is about. But let's get into this because the conversation that Jason Williams had the second go around, I thought was highly disrespectful. And I thought it was just absolutely a lie. So they always talk about, respecting the athletes, protecting the players, and Black lives, and all this other stuff that they say on the news. But every time it comes to any other player other than LeBron James, then it's bash everybody. You can call Russell Westbrook. You can destroy everyone else's career. But LeBron has to look a certain way. I just think that's kind of weird. But hey, let's just play the video and let me see if y'all agree with me. Good morning to y'all. Y'all hit the like button on the way in or wait, see if you like it and hit the dislike button on the way out.
As others in the past.
The number one knock on LeBron for older guys like myself has always been, yo, man, you always stacking your team. He stacked it in Miami. He stacked it in Cleveland. He stacked it in LA.
Wait, I don't know if y'all caught that. He said for older guys like himself. So he's not speaking for everybody. He said for older guys like himself, guys that have that old school mentality of basketball, not this Gen Z or whatever version of basketball that some of us don't think is real basketball. But let's go back.
He stacked it in Miami. He stacked it in Cleveland. He stacked it in LA. Now he's stacking it in Philly. So that to me, I'm going to still have the same criticism I've always had. He's always stacked his team.
All right, Monica McNutt, Brian Windhorst, and Jay Will, I'll start with you. Is that fair?
And I love Uncle Chuck. The biggest flaw in this argument for me is that, people treat player agency as if it's less legitimate than.
Wrong. He didn't make an argument. He made a statement. He made a statement. He was being interviewed. He made a statement. He didn't argue with anybody. He said, for old guys like me, which I agree with that statement, let LeBron James stack his teams. He was in his prime stacking team. He was in his prime when he went to Miami. I have no issue with what he's doing now. When he went to Miami, he stacked that team. When he went back to Cleveland, he stacked that team. Before he left Cleveland, I thought he had a stacked team. He just couldn't get over the hump. But it is what it is. But I just don't even like the way it started off. His argument, he's not making an argument. You ask most people, would Kobe or MJ go to those teams that LeBron went to? And most people would know that MJ wouldn't do that or Kobe.
Front office agency. So when Red Auerbach, finds a way to stack a team, he's exceptional. He's a genius. When Brad Stevens does it, he's a visionary. When Jerry West does it,
Brad Stevens, Jerry West, none of these guys are in the GOAT debate. And you're conflating the conversation by taking what Chuck said as a statement from older players like himself and mixing it in with GMs and other players that's not in the GOAT debate. Nice try, but LeBron James is the only name that you name in that GOAT debate. And when you compare him to the greatest players in the world, then it has to be his mentality has to be compared, his game, his everything is going to be compared to those other two gentlemen. This is why I think it's stupid to do this GOAT debate, because you're all going to take away from the people that you like. Why can't we just enjoy Michael, Kobe, and MJ, all for what they brought to the game? Why do we have to have this debate? I think sports shows would cancel without this debate, because most of these sports personalities don't know a lick about sports. And Roger Mayweather's famous line, when he used to say, most of these people don't know about boxing, most of these people don't know about basketball. They just talk LeBron, GOAT, clutch sports stuff every single day. And it's kind of annoying. I really wish they would stop this debate, because then we can learn the new players that's in the league. We can build up the new superstars in the league instead of keep beating the same dead thing that you're never going to be able to prove. Now, if you want to say there's GOATs of an era, I can go with GOATs of an era. But one overall GOAT, I would say MJ, just because what he brought to the game, but I really don't like it. I really don't. Because what do you say to Bill Russell? What do you say to Kareem? What do you say to Wilt Chamberlain? What do you say to all these people that played so well and done so much justice to our game? I just think it's sad that we are always at this conversation.
He's such an incredible leader, but somehow when a player kind of takes in his own agency to do that for himself, then it becomes a character flaw. And I think that's the flaw overall in the argument. Like this is a different time and an age where players feel as if they're bigger than the franchise. It's the way people follow the game. And I think LeBron James is one of the rare few that, because of his agency and because of the power that comes along with being LeBron James, that he can pick and choose and kind of skew the rails in the direction he wants. And I don't think that's a character flaw. I think it's just the genius of LeBron being a GM and being the player that actually demands that type of control as the player he is, one of the greatest to ever do it.
Monica.
I wouldn't call it a character flaw, but he may have some competitive issues. He might love to win so much that he want to stack the deck. I don't know. Kobe Bryant is one of the guys that want to persevere through everything. This guy broke his finger in a game or dislocated his finger, his shoulder, and he's going to will himself to a victory. He'll shoot left-handed. He'll crawl out in the court if he could. If he felt like he could help a team, that's what he would do. So I wouldn't classify it as a character flaw, but it is something to be said when you compare him to the other GOATs, is what I'm saying. And LeBron is the one who ushered in this whole ideal that players should be empowered and run the league. And our game has suffered from that. That's why most people didn't watch. They like that old school style of play. But let's keep going.
Jay was so eloquent, and I love that. But basically, this is, okay, you got it, whatever. Like, this is the way that the league goes right now. You know what I mean? Like, I think what LeBron is attempting to do here late, and I think in the rest of that conversation, Charles Barkley actually reintroduces his GOAT conversation. What he is attempting to do, and Wendy used this word in our earlier conversation this morning, ridiculous, with all the positive connotations. Like, everything about his career so far to this point has been ridiculous. To come in with all the pressure that we remember 20-some years ago as the #1 overall draft pick, and to only exceed, why would the last couple of years not also fall into that category in terms of an opportunity to bring a trophy back to Philadelphia? Like, I have no problem with this, and I'm fascinated to see how it unfolds.
Wendy, I'm fascinated to hear your perspective on it. This dates back, obviously, to the original decision when he took his talents to South Beach and all the things that have happened since. Does Charles Barkley have a point?
Well, Charles very clearly was speaking as a Hall of Famer, top 75 player. He's talking about what his and his peers' viewpoints are. I can't speak to that. That's what Charles is saying he views it as. I would just say, absolutely, the team in Miami was stacked. And absolutely, he, Bosh, and Wade came together to stack it. The following free agencies, I'm not sure that's true. He came to Cleveland. They hadn't made the playoffs in 4 years. They did the Love trade. Kevin Love had no history of any success in the playoffs. If you want to
see how they disrespect other players. Kevin Love had no history of making it to the playoffs or doing anything in the playoffs. He was in Minnesota. When Kevin Garnett wasn't making it to the playoffs in Minnesota or wasn't doing well in Minnesota, did we ever take away from Kevin Garnett's game when he's averaging 23 and like 12? Same thing that he was doing. How can you take away from Kevin Love when he was averaging like 23, 24, and 12? So no, just because you're on a losing team, that's why a lot of players want to get out of losing teams so they can get to a team that's a little bit better. So you're going to downplay Kevin Love to upplay LeBron when Kevin Love was one of the best power forwards at the time? That's crazy.
Call that a stacked team, I guess, but like from stacked says who? Then he goes to Los Angeles. The Lakers had missed the playoffs for 5 years. The team had nothing on it. They missed the playoffs the first year. They had to dump the roster and totally redo it and then get Anthony Davis.
Yeah, and you're leaving out the fact that LeBron went there, no playoff. Anthony Davis went there, playoffs, championship. LeBron, if it wasn't for a play-in tournament, if you guys didn't create play-in tournaments, LeBron would have missed the playoffs several years. And that's what you guys don't want to deal with, the reality of things. It seems like our league sometimes sway a narrative towards LeBron so that his legacy could stay intact. But if old school players would have been faced in the same situation, you can't help if every team is going to have some ups and downs. But to create a play-in tournament just so you can have this man in the playoffs, I think was everybody's starting to rub people the wrong way. That's all I'm saying. It's almost like you guys are making it like he has to win a championship every year. Every year there's a sweepstake of getting LeBron James more players. Why? This is supposed to be a competition. This is not supposed to be how do we help LeBron win. And ESPN is not supposed to be a news station or a basketball station that's all about propping up LeBron. It should be about the talent that the NBA has as a whole. But that's not what it seemed like. Seems like they explain what happens to LeBron.
And, in this situation, if he didn't go to Philly, like where did Charles or the Legends want him to go? Did they want him to go to the G League? Because if he went to Cleveland, is that team stacked? Is Miami with Bam Adebayo and Giannis Antetokounmpo, is that team stacked? Jokic and Jamal Murray, is that team stacked? And Edwards, Rudy Gobert? I don't know. He left Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. Is that not? I don't understand the premise of the of the complaint.
My feeling on this, because there is a cottage industry in criticism.
See what I mean by how they word things? But now it's a complaint. All he talked about was from his perspective, he was on an interview. He's a legendary player who said that LeBron James stacks his teams, which he does. Now we've heard it was a complaint, and we heard it was an issue or a problem. Like, it's not a complaint. It was a statement. It's just a statement. Talk about the statement without doing all that. Does LeBron James stack teams? Was Miami a stacked team? Was Cleveland a stacked team? Me, as a basketball player, I faced those teams. Yes, they were a stacked team. Kobe Bryant couldn't even get Chris Paul on the team. That tells you how much talent Kobe Bryant had. You guys uplift Paul Gasol to make Kobe Bryant seem like he had great players. Now, if you're going to say that what you said about Kevin Love in Minnesota coming to Cleveland, then why do they praise Paul Gasol so much? He never showed anything in the playoffs. He never made no big splash in the East like that in the playoffs. So I just don't understand. It seems like the sentiment is to downplay everybody else except LeBron. They'll upplay Scottie Pippen if it's to make Michael Jordan look bad. They'll downplay Scottie Pippen if it makes LeBron James look bad. It just doesn't make any sense.
Criticizing LeBron. This is not meant to refer to Charles Barkley or any of those people. I'm talking more about just the general reaction online. I don't know. I've been doing this 30 years. The thing most people complain about is that the people just do things for money. They just do things for all these reasons. LeBron James took as little money as he could. Now, he's a billionaire. No one has to worry about it. But he didn't do this because he maximized the money he could get. He did it because he chose the place he has the best chance to win. I think that's what we want our athletes to want to do. He's telling you winning is the most important thing for me. I think that's what we as fans want the athletes to want first and foremost. So personally, look, I understand some people just have it in for him. They're going to criticize him no matter what he does. Fine. God bless you. But outside of that, I think this was a decision that is quite easy to support, regardless of which team you like. Go ahead, Jay.
I just feel like we're talking about Bron, Monica, and Wendy like he's 28 years old. The dude is 41 years old. 41 years old. My back hurts when I get up in the morning, okay? It's just like he's still doing this at 41 years old, even though he's 41.
Okay. I'm 44 years old. My back hurt just sitting down. So then, Jay Will, you're a journalist now. 𝐤𝐫𝐚𝐦 had some thoughts about that. Why haven't you interviewed 𝐤𝐫𝐚𝐦? How is a 41, 42-year-old seem to not have anything in his mind about ending the game? I mean, that's a great point you brought up, Jay Will, but I bet you won't do any more journalistic work and dig into how as a player at 41 thinking about playing point guard, by the way, which I think if it was a few years ago, which I don't know where else he can be besides that, because he's going to pout if he don't. But this whole Philly team is Clutch Sports. Clutch Sports is the world, boy. Clutch Sports got so much power from the front office, the coaches, Clutch Sports, about 6 or 7 players are Clutch Sports clients. Clutch Sports seem to be able to get LeBron James any player that they want. And you want people like myself, old school cats, that know that that's not the way competition in basketball is supposed to work. This guy has a agency that he's connected to, one of the most powerful sports agency in the world. His right-hand man is shifting and moving players wherever LeBron wants them to go. We seen what happened to 𝐁𝐿 𝐸. We see what happened to the young man that just got cut from Minnesota, took the buyout from Memphis Grizzlies. Cam, what is his name? It's eluding me right now. But you guys know what I'm talking about. And it's a shame. It's a shame what we're seeing, and you guys are calling it competition. You guys try to come in and flatten out everybody else who say, wait a minute now, why are you trying to tell me I'm not seeing what I'm seeing? Like I'm smelling some shh, but you telling me I'm not smelling some shh. And if anybody smelled some shh, they know shh when they smell shh, if you understand the shh that I'm trying to say. If you don't, just shh. But anyway, Clutch Sports is the world. LeBron James is going to have total control over this team, and he's going to have the ball in his hand. So when he was complaining last year about, I've never played, been third position, never in my whole life. So this guy at 41 still wants to be a number one option. Any 41-year-old that's a number one option on any team, it's not going to be good, especially when you have Jaylen Brown and Tyrese Maxey on the team. Jaylen Brown is still a stud. This is the league MVP, former league MVP. So I don't understand, but we'll see.
About turn 42, LeBron James still unlocks this team in ways that nobody else can. So just to prove Wendy's point, maybe the case in Miami is fine, but it still took LeBron to unlock that for D Wade and Chris Bosh, who couldn't get over the hump without him. That's all I'm going to say.
So just a finishing point on the Sixers piece of
What the Jay Will? What are you? Oh my God, Jay Will, brother, you just flat out lied, or you didn't do your homework. Do I need to pull up? Matter of fact, I'm gonna save it for another interview. I'm gonna play a video. I'm gonna play the video next when I do another pre-record of Dwayne Wade basically saying that LeBron James had a freaking meltdown in the playoffs. And he had to basically go to LeBron and damn near console LeBron. And then there's rumors that Shane Battier taught LeBron how to read the defense. And on top of that, Dwayne Wade was already a champion. So how in the world can Jay Will say this on national television? Why are y'all doing this to other players just for LeBron? That Clutch Sports check must be off the goddamn. Clutch Sports, call me, man. I got a homeboy that always bump into me at the hookah spot. He know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Tell him to bump into me again and just bump into me with a brown paper bag. I'm gonna start saying LeBron James is the GOAT. Hey, bro, when you see me at the hookah lounge that we go to, bump into me with some Clutch Sports check. No, I don't want no check. Bump into me with some Clutch Sports cash, and I'm gonna start saying LeBron James is the GOAT. It gotta be so lucrative to say this. So I don't want no trouble. I don't want no more flags or nothing. LeBron got this much power in the league. He probably got power over every damn thing. So, hey, listen, homeboy that see me at the hookah lounge, bump into me with a big satchel, brown paper bag full of straight blue notes. And then every time I say something, I'm going to just say LeBron the GOAT. Hell, I'm going to wake up in the morning and say LeBron the GOAT. That's all y'all want to hear. If somebody can get up here and say Dwayne Wade, who was already a champion, who has been on camera saying he had to console LeBron, and who stayed home and LeBron came to join them, if that's the guy who built them up, and then I don't know. He didn't build up Russell Westbrook. He didn't build up Kevin Love. Kevin Love looked like a zombie out there playing with LeBron. He's like, what the hell? Do I crash the boards? What do I do? Only thing I can do is catch and shoot? Okay. Come on, man. Y'all need to stop this. That's a shame. This is a shame. And what's the kid on Philly, the rookie from last year? 𝐬𝐚𝐦𝐞 𝐬𝐻𝐿, I think his last name. I'll be butchering these guys' name. Iman something. 𝐬𝐚𝐦. But this kid is going to be, his game is going to take a hit. He's not going to be the same player that y'all saw last year. Watch. He's not going to be the same player. Because you know why? His minutes is going to be up and down this year. His role is going to change. And when that happens, when you don't have a role, a defined role that, hey, we got to get this guy the ball in this spot over here, then you just freelancing. He's just another player out there. He's a role player instead of defining this kid's role for his trajectory to keep going up so that he can become what everybody think he is. And once you add in pieces like LeBron, trust me, I know they added in MJ, you're going to stifle down another guy's career. Now, hopefully he's mentally tough to handle it. You see what happened to Dalton Connect. I'm pretty sure this guy is at a sports psychiatrist every day. And that's the politics of the game that most people don't understand. We just think, oh, it's great to see our favorite player. The politics sometimes destroy other players' image and career. But that's my time. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all hit that like button if you still here. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. But Jason Williams, that was terrible, bro. And ESPN, y'all got it. No, I ain't gonna tell y'all to do better because y'all making that paper. Clutch, bump into me with that satchel, okay? I'll say LeBron to go. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone.